What really happens to the soul after someone passes away? The Bible reveals something essential. When God created humanity, He breathed the breath of life into us. This means we're not just a body. We carry a soul, a divine spark within us. In Ecclesiastes, it says the body returns to dust, as it was formed from it. But the soul, the spirit that came from God, goes back to the Creator. This is the foundation of our journey. So, what happens step by step after death? What does the soul feel? What does it see? And how does it continue its existence? Let's dive into that. Mystical Jewish sources describe that right after death, the soul feels like it's crossing a cave. At the end of this tunnel, it sees an incredibly bright spiritual light, something beyond any human experience. Interestingly, modern accounts from people who have had near-death experiences, clinically dead, and then revived describe exactly that. A tunnel and an intense light. Traditionally, this tunnel is known as the Cave of the Patriarchs, a sacred cave mentioned in the Bible. That's where Abraham buried Sarah, paying a hefty sum because he knew it was the place where Adam and Eve had been laid to rest. This cave, according to tradition, is the exit door for souls from this world to the next. The moment of death isn't just physical, it's also spiritual. The soul doesn't want to part from the body, as they've been together throughout life. However, when it senses the divine presence, described as a light full of love and goodness, the soul is drawn out of the body. The Zohar explains that this light is the Shekhinah, the presence of God. For the righteous, this moment brings them closer to that light. For the wicked, who have distanced themselves from God, it feels like a loss, as the light moves away from them. Accounts of near-death experiences confirm something that traditions have said for millennia. When leaving the body, the soul feels an indescribable sensation of love, kindness, and peace. It's like being wrapped in a spiritual warmth that no human words can capture. This feeling is so powerful that it makes the soul want to detach from the body and move toward the Creator. It marks the beginning of a new phase, in a spiritual realm much broader than what we know. While we live, our body limits the soul. Moses, for instance, asked to see God's face but was told that no man can see and live. That's because our physical eyes can't handle such a revelation. However, after death, the soul sheds those limitations. It expands, gains spiritual perception, and reaches a level of knowledge about God that is impossible to achieve while we're in this world. Another extraordinary aspect. Upon leaving the body, the soul is welcomed by relatives, friends, and even spiritual guides who passed before it. It's like a welcoming committee, helping the soul navigate the confusion of detachment. The Talmud recounts that the great sage Rabbi Yohanan ben Zakkai, moments before dying, asked for space to be made because a king of Judah had come to greet him. This shows that, besides relatives, spiritual guides also embrace the soul. Even after departing, the soul remains connected to the body. It witnesses everything that happens to it, from the preparation for burial to the actual interment. This is why Jewish tradition emphasizes respect and care for the body. The soul suffers when it sees any disrespect, especially practices like cremation. It's like someone who has lived in a house for decades watching it being destroyed. The pain isn't physical, but emotional and spiritual. Right after death, the soul begins to be judged for its actions. This isn't an external judgment. It's internal. It sees its entire life unfold before it, like a movie. Every word, action, and choice becomes clear in the divine light. Science confirms something impressive. It has been recorded that up to 30 minutes after clinical death, the brain activates areas related to memory, as if it were rewinding through life. This is exactly what mystical texts have described for over 2,000 years. In the first 3 days, the soul stays very close to the body. It visits home, observes loved ones, and even spiritually feels the pain of the body's decomposition. The Book of Job hints at this. The soul feels the body's pain, but not as physical pain, more like the loss of its former dwelling. During the first 7 days, known as the soul remains connected to the family. That's why there's a practice of intense mourning and prayers, as this brings comfort and elevation to the departed soul. The soul isn't judged just once. On the 30th day, a new judgment occurs. After 12 months, the final judgment determines its spiritual abode. Even after that, the soul continues to be evaluated based on the legacy it left. Good children, good deeds, teachings passed on. Similarly, bad choices also have consequences, as their effects continue to resonate. According to tradition, there are spiritual destinies. Hell, Gehenna, not a physical fire, but the pain of spiritual shame before God. The soul sees its mistakes and deeply repents, undergoing a painful yet purifying process. Kof Hakila, a terrible state reserved for souls that have become so material that they lack the strength to ascend or be purified. They remain trapped in a state of confusion, like a limbo, the world of souls, the destination for the righteous, a place of immense pleasure and closeness to God. There, the soul enjoys a peace and knowledge that transcends everything we can imagine. But even this state isn't final, as the Bible speaks of the resurrection of the dead, when souls will return to their bodies in a new eternal reality. All of this teaches us that life doesn't end with death. The soul continues, and our actions shape its destiny. King Solomon advises us, "Let your garments always be white," meaning that your soul should be pure, clean, and ready to meet the Creator. This is the journey of the soul, from the moment of death to its union with God, a mysterious journey, but one filled with purpose, reminding us that every choice we make now echoes into eternity. If this inspiring story resonates with you, don't forget to share this video with someone who needs to know about the Bible. Hit the notification bell, subscribe to the channel, and give it a thumbs up. See you in the next video with more inspiring stories like this one.